bit farther to his right than maybe he did. They needed to stay home a little bit more there, and you just wonder, I didn't hear what the spotter call was, but you just wonder if they were directed a little bit toward the middle.
Nope. We're gonna rotate out the ball here.
So, Greg, it looks like we're going to have somewhere between 18 and 20 teams at the World Series of Beep Baseball this year. It is in Norman, Oklahoma, with the championship game on August 5th and the round-robin games on Tuesday, August 1st. Then you move into the double elimination. I'm sorry, I think that, yes, it is. Tuesday, August 1st, and then double elimination starts on Wednesday the 2nd. Championship game on Saturday the 5th. Right now in that neck of the woods, you've got the College Softball World Series in full swing. I haven't gotten to see much of that because I've been here. I saw my Crimson Tide lose to Tennessee in the first game. I don't know what happened after that.
So Adam Rodenbeck now is at the plate. So again, there's that potential defensive switch that we thought we would see. Rodenbeck makes contact towards the right side. Hustling towards the bag. Fielders have it.
Howland made that play, I believe.
All right, guys, I'd like to look at that.
So we're going to have a replay on that.
Another replay.
We'll have our second replay of the inning.
That looks tight.
So Rodenbeck yesterday was 1 for 5, was recorded as an out his first 4 times at the plate. So now we'll show the replay here on the side-by-side.
My ears told me he was out. Let's see what your eyes tell you.
Out.
Yeah.
Your ears do not lie to you, my friend.
Who was put out?
All right, he is 1. All right, I just heard that. That was Justin Howland. He is indeed wearing number 1. Now, Steve Michaels is a coach of the team, and he was a lefty when he was my teammate for years, Steve Michaels. He's the head coach of the Indy Edge now. So that's Howland wearing 1, and that was Howland on the putout.
See, folks, it's amazing what happens when you use your ears. That could go for all of us in life. Zach Bueller.
Here we go. We set the field. Here we go. Bases, please.
Bueller 2 for 3 today. Ground ball, left side. Fielder lines it up, past Rodriguez. Bueller hustling, slips past Aaron C. and safe.
A little surprised that one got by Eric. It got on him a little bit quicker maybe than he expected it to.
Okay.
He's kind of hop past his left hip and then went 5-hole on Aaron C.
Number of balls that are.
So it's a 5-run second for the Thunder. And they have jumped out to a 14-2 lead.
That is going to surprise a lot of people, that score here in the top of the second inning.
Here we go. Bases, please.
So Dykes, a perfect 3 for 3. He and Jeffries are the 2 players who haven't been recorded as outs just yet. Contact made, but foul.
And this is the most adversity the Edge have faced. They did not lose a game last year, and they really weren't tested very much. So this is certainly the biggest deficit they have faced, at least since the 2021 season.
Contact made, ground ball left side. Rodriguez has it lined up and got it.
Lightning won't strike twice in the same place. Eric Rodriguez makes that play.
So with that, the inning is over. 8 batters to the plate, 5 score for the Thunder. Make it 14-2, 6-1-2 coming up in the bottom half of the inning for the Edge. Today's game presented in part by our friends at Simplified Insurance Solutions. Health insurance experts offering Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage plans, prescription drug plans, dental, vision, and hearing coverage. Located in Lawrence, call Latrice Jeter today at 888-340-7633. Jerry Wendell on your screen, my broadcast partner yesterday, president of the NBBA. Talk about the role that Jerry plays for the organization.
Jerry Wendell is the chair of our board of directors. He was elected to that position last year in Beaumont, Texas. Jerry Wendell, I first met Jerry in around 2003, 2004 when he came aboard the Thunder as a player, but he was also a coach. So he was, in my young days, I like to say in my heyday, he was one of the assistant coaches. I like to say that he's partially responsible for the most valuable player award I won at the World Series in 2007 because he kept me in a game when I was not too happy about an umpire's call. And had I not stayed in that game, had I been tossed, it would have probably been the end of that MVP run. So Jerry and I go way back. Jerry is you know, when I have rules questions, when we need to go to the rule book, I call Jerry. When I've got organizational questions I'm doing research on, I call Jerry. So it was Jerry. I'm sure he was a great contributor to your broadcast yesterday.
I've been fortunate to work with two great color commentators so far over 2 days here this weekend.
Well, and last year you had Darnell, and
we're 3 for 3.
Yeah.
So Aaron C. First pitch went by. Aaron, the last batter to make his debut at the plate for today's game. Swings and misses at the letter high offering.
Aaron was a rookie in 2020. We first saw him in the pandemic shortened season, 2020. There was still beat ball, but there was no World Series. And he's just improved ever since, every year. And he's cracked the starting lineup.
Contact made, foul ball on the ground. Aaron got about 10 feet out of the batter's box and quickly put the brakes on.
Especially with Mark Morris moving on to Gateway, he was a key part of the Edge team for years. And he was platooning with Aaron C. a little bit. Now Aaron is solidly in that starting lineup.
If I remember correctly, Aaron was a college football player, correct?
He was, and I can't remember as I sit here where he went to school.
I believe it's Franklin College on the south side. I believe. I could be wrong about that.
Good call. I think you're right. When I think of Franklin, I think of the prep school, and you guys have an absolute stud recruit coming out of Franklin. I think his name's Clark.
Contact made, line drive up the middle. Bouncing ball that bounces off of Cody Jeffries, hustling down the base pass and safe.
Nice run by Aaron C. Nice and straight and to the base. And a good start for the Edge as they try to mount some sort of response to the Thunder's blitz of 14 runs over 2 innings.
And just hit off the backside of Cody Jeffries as he was diving for it. Bueller couldn't get there in time.
Yeah, you want to try to line that ball up center mass if you can. When you have to get down on the ball, you want it to hit the biggest and widest part of your body. And if you can, have your hands somewhere in position to corral it, get it off the ground.
Up. Hang on.
So Eric Rodriguez is ready. Fielders are now set.
Here we go. Bases, please.
You hear the bases check. Rodriguez scored his previous time up.
Strike.
Eric's really the catalyst for this team, and I'm sure he's not used to being in this position down 11.
Swing and a miss. Well, this was the exact score at 14-3. The Thunder came from behind yesterday to beat the Philly Fire.
And the Philly Fire, unfortunately, in that 6th inning, had trouble making contact.
Swing and a miss by Rodriguez.
Eric's been playing since 2013. He started with Chicago, played his first couple seasons under the tutelage of J.T. Herzog, the longtime Comets coach. And he'll tell you, he'll give J.T. a lot of credit for teaching him the game.
Foul tip.
And you don't realize, because we're so used to seeing Eric play and, frankly, dominate in this sport, he is only in his early 20s, 22, 23 years old. He'll be in the Hall of Fame by 30 if he keeps this up.
Swing and a miss.
That's unfortunate. You don't see Kyle Kennedy strike out Eric Rodriguez very often at all.
So third strikeout.
Yeah. Okay.
So Mulhern is up next.
Yeah. We go. We set field.
Nick scored his last time up.
Go base.
I was going to say the first two batters in the Edge lineup scored to start the bottom of the first, and then only one run since. And more strikeouts than Kyle Kennedy would like.
Strike.
Swing and a miss.
Like I said, that's the equalizer. All that speed doesn't make any difference if you don't put the ball in play.
Swing and a miss. 2 strikes. Here's the take. Contact made, elevated left side. Runner running towards the third base bag. Ball comes down. Bueller gives chase, but not in time.
That's a good hit. That's a lot of hang time. And the same principle applies, man. If that ball's in the air for 4 seconds and the base runner can get to the base in 5, you've literally got 1 second to try to make a play on the ball. It's almost impossible.
So Nick is 2 for 2. Orion White due up next.
See what the White brothers can do here. Kyle needs to get them going. Corian struggled a little bit yesterday, too, with contact. And once he gets going, he'll be just fine. But, again, this is the first tournament of the year for most of these teams.
Here we go, bases, please. 1.
Contact made. Down the first base side. In fair territory. Lined up and out.
Got him.
Kyle Lewis makes the play.
Kyle Lewis, and he's an excellent outfielder, and it seems like in big moments he comes up with plays on defense. I've called him a heartbreaker for a long time, and that was a big one there.
That is the rare play where we could have used one camera to show you that, because the ball and runner were both sent in the same direction. And great job by our ISC Sports Network camera crew.
And that makes it even tougher on the defender. When the base that's on your side of the field goes on and the runner's running that base, you're hearing that and you're trying to track the ball too. So an excellent job of honing in on that by Kyle Lewis.
And frankly, you're hearing Corian White steaming your direction as well.
Yep.
That's a cacophony of sound to deal with. Here's Corey White. Swing and a miss. Targets have been low and away for most of the Indy Edge batters so far.
And, you know, that's not necessarily what you want to do, because you're taking a chance of getting more ground balls doing that.
Popped him up. Straight away.
That's going to be a tough play for the defense.
Yeah, no way you're going to make that.
It's the weapon that is Corey White. There's the 4th run now for the Edge.
So this one wasn't far from being past the 170 line. That ball traveled a pretty good distance.
Might have actually gotten a little too much lift on that one.
So 3rd run of the inning. 2 away. Justin Holland now. And we're at a different number than he normally does, but we've accurately tracked him. Retired as an out in the field his previous plate appearance. As the Edge do bat around here in the bottom of the 2nd.
I did. That was the 5th run of the game for the Edge. Thanks, Greg.
No problem. Swing and a miss.
Strike.
Swing and a miss. There's the take.
Justin Howland, this is another natural athlete. You can just tell he takes good care of himself.
Swing, ground ball, left side. Fair territory. Bueller hustling over, and he couldn't get it in time.
Not quite in time. That was speed against speed, and Howland's speed won that race. And here come the Edge now. It's still early, I'm telling you. And this is an important spot now for Aaron C. in the 6th hole in the lineup, and 2 outs in the inning, and the Edge rallying here to try to turn the lineup back up to all the speed and power at the top.
Yeah.
Not that there's
Really,
not
really
speed
close.
and
Yeah,
power
back
at the
knee
bottom, but when you're in that 6th
go back
spot
and
in the
see that
lineup,
again.
that's really strategic because you're sort of an anchor.
We're going to get a second look at that. We'll take an official replay challenge here.
Well, they are looking at it. Now the race was on, the ball into the base. And those are 2 world-class players.
I believe he's safe.
Gosh, play that back again.
We'll show it one more time.
Now the tie is supposed to go to the fielder in this sport. Unlike traditional baseball, if the umpire cannot tell, then he is supposed to award the out. Some would say there's no such thing as a tie, but if the umpire cannot discern.
One more time.
Show it back one more time.
You got Bueller, you got Holland. It doesn't get any better than that. That's beat ball right there. What do you think?
Batter's out.
And I think it's the point you just made. If it's simultaneous, you'll give that play to the fielder in this sport.
When in doubt, you award the out.
Okay. I don't think the 12-1 is in.
So with that, take a run off the board, and we'll go to the top of the 3rd inning. Score is 14-5 in favor of the Indy Thunder, and we're back in a moment on the ISC Sports Network.
McCulling in time. Oh, no! It's good.
This one is caught.
There you go.
Wow, Dawson makes a great catch.
Spin, win, 3, bury it for Leland Walker.
Tie the game they do with the dunk by Malik Edmonds. What a play.
Oh, my goodness.
I feel a little momentum starting to fall Ellen's way.
That is Wrestler! Wrestler! Whoa!
As the top of the 3rd is about to start, let's thank our friends at Bright Ideas Consulting. Your logo on everything under the sun. Now with a new location at 9855 Cross Point Boulevard, Suite 116 in Indianapolis. Kyle Lewis will lead things off. 3, 4, and 5 to up this time through for the Thunder. They put 9 on the board in the first, 5 in the second.
If you're the Thunder, you don't want to stop now. You want to keep adding on because the Edge looked like they were getting their bats started there that last half inning. You saw a good hit from Corey White. You saw a good one from Nick Mulherron, and so it's still early. A lot of ball left to be played here, but the Thunder are sitting pretty. And the Edge haven't trailed like this in a very long time. So we'll see how they handle it.
Here we go. We set the field. Here we go. Bases, please. Top 3rd.
Lewis 2 for 3 today. Quartered out in the field last inning. Elevates this one towards the right side, and that ball will nestle shy of the 40-foot line.
And Kyle Lewis doesn't normally aim for the 40-foot line. His game is high, hard, and catch it if you can. But that's not a bad beat ball hit either, to hang one up right there in front of, right there. If you can get it just to land just by the 40-foot line, then the race is on to the ball and the base.
A little John going on back and forth between these two teams that know each other so very well.
So very well. So many of them played as teammates. Many of them on both teams were recruited into the game by Booker. And so they all know each other.
Top on me.
And The Edge are used to being in the position the Thunder are in. The Edge played the least amount of innings required to win a World Series since the 2009 West Coast Dogs, because of course we've got the 12-run mercy rule, and so I don't believe the Edge had to play a full 6-inning game at the World Series the entire 7 games they played.
Well, frankly, when we had them in the championship of this event last year, run rule against Atlanta.
Base check.
Contact made, ground ball right side. Fielder knocks it down. Can he get there in time? Diving effort. Out. Mulhern makes the play after it bounced off of Corian White.
Good job backing up Corian. That was kind of a hot shot, and Corian did what he could to slow it down. And if we had assists in this sport, then he would be credited with one. But that's just good team defense there, and good job, like I said earlier, about players knowing where their teammates are at.
So Cody Jeffries due up now. That was the first time that the leadoff runner has been retired as an out in today's game.
Yeah.
It's important, you know, just like any other sport, momentum is important, and the Edge may be trying to acquire some here as we get into the middle innings.
You may have to pull the pad out and readjust it.
It's a momentary delay to make sure the third base speaker's working properly.
All right, here we go. We set in the field.
The banners behind the Thunder bench, showcasing some previous World Series championships, 2017, 2021 in the frame of your shot as we speak. Ground ball left side, runner runs left side. Rodriguez dives, effort, safe. Just as Mulhern was getting to it, able to hustle out and beat the play was Cody Jeffries, run for the Thunder.
That was a close play, but I think that was clearly a run there, and so now there we go. Now the Thunder have their 15th run on the board as they continue to add to their lead.
So Jeffries a perfect 4 for 4. He is the only Thunder player that is yet to be retired as a putout today.
So you're seeing those banners from 2017 and 2021. Now 2017 was special because the Thunder got knocked down to the losers bracket in the quarterfinals, and they had to win 7 games in 2 days, including beating a powerhouse Taiwan squad twice on Saturday to come back and defend their championship, and they pulled it off down in West Palm Beach, Florida, in about the most hot and humid conditions you can imagine. They had to win 3 games on Friday, all against top competition, and then beat the Taiwanese twice on Saturday. So that was a real special. I think Booker might tell you that one and the drive for 5 in 2021 is probably the Thunder's greatest achievements.
A swing and a miss by Dunleavy.
And they were undefeated in 10 games in 2020, were the Thunder. So if it hadn't been for the pandemic forcing the cancellation of that World Series, it would have likely been 6 straight titles.
2 strikes. Take on that one.
And I've said before, even being objectively, that Thunder Dynasty team was probably the best team I've ever seen play.
Liner towards center. Couple of bounces. Mulhern, can he track it down? Yes.
He did. It's like 4 putouts now for Nick Mulhern. He's been the defensive standout, whereas usually it's Eric Rodriguez, but they've been staying away from Eric a little bit and or hitting it over his head. And so it's been Mulhern that's really stepped up. And, you know, Jared may be making a concerted effort to hit toward the right side of the field as well. He's got a lot of righties other than Kyle Lewis, but when you're as experienced and pinpoint accurate as Jared, you can control to a certain extent what part of the field your hitters place the ball by placing it a little more inside or a little more outside on their bat.
So Adam Roden back now. Retired as an out at his only plate appearance. Entered the game in the bottom of the first inning. Kevin Smith got a couple of at-bats and struck out once and scored once before Adam entered.
Adam is the chairperson of our NBBA Rules Committee, and he's going to have his hands full this month with all the proposals that need to be discussed and voted upon, and this is just an interesting time of year for beat baseball.
Lifts this one. Will be in the field of play. Couple of hops, hustling, and got there just in time before Nick Mulhern could get his hands on it.
Boy, Adam's been playing almost 20 years, but he can still beat those out. Good for him, and there's 2 of those runs right back now here in the 3rd.
So 2 runs in the inning. His first run of the day.
So important to get production out of the 5 and 6 spots in your lineup. You expect it from Buehler and Dykes and Lewis.
Here we go, hop on the bench.
But when you can get it from all 6, that's what separates these teams from some of the other teams here. Every team here has 2 or 3 players who are dependable run producers, but when you can have it 6.
Strike.
Buehler swings and misses. He's 3 for 4 today.
Buehler doesn't look like he has missed a beat, even after missing most of the last 3 years.
Strike. Tip.
He's back in 2019 form. Now, he has looked a little bit out of sync at times in the outfield. Maybe it's because I have high standards for Zach Buehler. He's one of the best in the sport.
Here's the take.
But for him and Jared at the plate, it's been like just kind of like getting back on the bike.
Contact made, but it's a foul ball down the right side.
Buehler, a member of Team USA, goal ball.
Full count, 2 outs.
So he's a year-round athlete. He competed in Tokyo in 2021. That's what kept him away from the drive for 5.
Contact made, left side. Heading down toward the base pass that way, and couldn't get there in time. Aaron C. did a great job of lining it up, but again, Buehler's speed on display. Run for the Thunder.
Speed is tough to defend, and Buehler has it. They matched that little uprising by the edge, and back to, is that now 17?
Correct.
17 to 5.
Back to a 12-run lead.
Reset in the field.
So Dykes to the plate.
That does not invoke the 12-run rule, of course, though, because the Edge are the home team, and so they will get their at-bats in the bottom of the 3rd. But you can bet Jared would like to add on a little more. And this is not just for bragging rights. These games are considered when the ranking committee.
Well, contact made. Quick pitch by Jared Woodard and a ground ball by Gerald Dykes. Ball fielded by Eric Rodriguez, and that is the end of the inning. So 6 come to the plate. That is the fewest we have seen so far in this game for the Thunder. And it's now 17 to 5, heading to the bottom half of the 3rd. Today's game presented in part by the Blind Institute of Technology, where teaching one person with a disability changes the lives of millions. Check out how they are changing the world at blindit.org. All right, you were in the middle of explaining the run rule here, and again, Edge do have the chance to bat here. But let's say if this is 12 at the end of the inning, what does that now entail?
So if their lead is 12 or greater at the end of the inning, then the Indy Edge will remain up to bat, and they will continue to bat the remainder of their outs until they either use up all of their remaining outs or come back and tie or take the lead. If they should come back to tie or take the lead, which is rare, but it's been known to happen, then the Indy Thunder would start from that point in the game. In other words, they would get their at-bats for the 4th, 5th, 6th inning, in which case, if they retook the lead, then the game would be over. It's a way to prevent scores from getting ridiculously lopsided while still providing an opportunity for player participation. And so that's why they do it. And yeah, I rolled right over that last one. Jared fooled me a little bit with the rapidity of his pitch there.
Here we go.
So 3 runs in the inning for the Thunder. Edge coming to bat, Aaron C., who led off the last inning. 3 runs were scored in the bottom half of the inning for the Edge. C with the take to start.
I was also saying this game's important for bragging rights, but it's also important for seeding for the World Series. These teams are seeded based on a lot of criteria, including head-to-head performance and including how you do in the regional events. And so obviously an Indy Thunder victory here would be enormous as they go into their the rest of their tournament schedule.
2 strikes.
Strike 2.
This has been an impressive performance by the Indy Thunder anyway, considering they're in the second year of what was a major rebuild. Now, they took 6 at the World Series last year, so
Strike. Full count.
it wasn't like the old school Chicago Bulls when Jordan and Pippen and them left. I use that example because I was raised on the Chicago Bulls, but it was similar. They lost 5 starters from the 2021 team last year, and they're already back looking like a contender.
Swing and a miss.
Is out.
So 4th strikeout in 12 batters so far for the Edge, and also for the first time they have their leadoff man retired. 1 away.
This has been a tough morning so far for Kyle Kennedy. He's just not, he's had his moments where he's hit the fat part of bats, but you can't have a crooked number of strikeouts when you're pitching against Jared and he's hot like he is. He hasn't struck out many at all. I think I may have counted 2.
So here's Eric Rodriguez.
Foul tip.
Rodriguez has a tendency to jumpstart his offense. Let's see if he can do it here.
Strike.
Rodriguez had the last out of the inning in terms of his work in the field. Take.
Oh.
When Kyle Kennedy is sharp, they will hit first and second pitches, and they don't have to take as many. The fact that they're going deep into these counts shows you that they're just a little bit off.
Tip.
Foul tip.
Full count.
We're getting dangerously close to something that would shock the world here, which would be a 12-run result in the Thunder's favor. We're not there yet, of course, and they only need to score 1 to stay out of it.
Lifted, right side.
That
Rodriguez running right side. Dunleavy trying to line it up.
That's a run, I think. It is.
So run for Rodriguez, his 2nd of the game. That takes off the run rule conversation, at least for this inning. And it's 17-6. So Rodriguez with his 2nd run of the game.
And I wouldn't recommend taking your eyes off of this game because the Edge can put up a bunch of runs in a hurry too, obviously. You saw that in the championship game last year. Now this is a little bit different team here, the Indy Thunder, and what the Edge had in the championship game last year where, you know, Atlanta, hats off to them. They had a great run through the first 3 games, but they were sort of the surprise David in the David-Goliath matchup. Only they didn't have a rock in their sling, and that was over pretty quick. This Edge team can put up a bunch in a hurry also.
We'll earn 2 for 2 today.
Strike.
Oh, 2.
And this is our first look at Nick Mulheron because he did not play at all yesterday.
So there's the take. Has to swing this time by. Contact made. Elevates it. This one will nestle perfectly in the field of play, and that's why he elevated. Adam Rodenbeck couldn't do anything about it. By the time he got to it, Mulheron had already scored. He's 3 for 3.
So that's 2 in a row now for the Edge on 2 pretty well struck balls. And they do have the last at-bats in this game, so if they can just close the gap and get within range, then we could have some high drama later on. But the Thunder have just been relentless so
We
far.
set in the field.
That's how the Thunder operated yesterday.
Bases,
They
please.
trailed by 11 after 3 innings.
1 out.
Found a way to win.
Strike.
Well, and that Philly Fire team you saw yesterday, that's a young and very talented team. But one of the things that they are still working on is closing games. They didn't close strong yesterday.
Strike 2.
Corian White 0 for 2. That's rare for him. He'll take. Strike out in the first inning. Out in the field of play in the second. Contact made, ground ball left side. Adam Rodenbeck has it, knocked it down.
Nice play. That's a nice play by Rodenbeck right there with Corion's speed. 'Cause you know, when you're a defender, even if the ball's hit right at you like that, you know you've got a fast base runner. You've got this mental clock in your head that's ticking, and sometimes can make it, you try to do too much. Adam stayed home on that. That was a great play.
That was just unfortunate for Corian, hit it right to him. By the way, that was Reese Hudson you also saw in the shot, one of the 2 spotters in the field of play.
Here we go. Bases, please.
So here's Corey White, who scored his last time up.
Corey hit a bomb his last time up.
Foul ball.
Because of that strikeout to open the inning, you've got 2 outs now, and it's looked good, but you've only got a couple of runs on the board for the Edge. That's not going to cut it as we get later into this game. At some point, you start running out of outs.
He'll take. Contact made, ground ball left side. Runner racing that direction as well. Rodenbeck again. Got him.
That's 3 out.
He's a big game player making a big plays in a big game. Adam Rodenbeck with 2 putouts in that inning, and that just quelled the Edge rally. My goodness, Greg, look where we are halfway through the game.
So 17-7, Thunder lead. We'll take this quick timeout. Top of the 4th comes your way next here on the ISC Sports Network. Ball here. Harris scores. With 19 seconds remaining.
Big players, big boy. I'm telling you right now, that's awesome. I love it.
That's the finish. You get a layup, take it, and an and one.
Out of here.
Today's game on the ISC Sports Network, presented in part by Kane and Able Orientation Mobility Services. Take a person's arm and they will lead you around the block. Give a person a cane, it will lead you around the world. Give them a call at 317-213-7031. Look at the Thunder bench on the left side. Thunder, the visiting team today. That's determined by a coin toss before the beginning of each game.
You know, it was interesting yesterday. The Thunder won the coin toss for all 3 of their games, and they were home and had the last at-bats for all 3 games. Now they're the visitors here. But the bench, you couldn't ask for them to be in any better position here going into the second half of this game.
Here we go. Bases,
Lewis
please.
2 for 4. He'll lead things off. Number 3 hitter. Scored both times he was at the plate in the first inning. He's been retired as a putout in both the second and third. Contact made. Ground ball right side. Runner running the right side. Past Corian White, and he's safe.
That's a play Corian White sometimes makes. Maybe you got to look at what happened there. Corian solid on that right side, short. But that one got by him, and there wasn't enough time. And Kyle Lewis still has deceptive speed for his how long he's been playing.
Corian White just kind of overran that one a little bit. Ball bounded behind him.
You cannot give up ground balls, especially to a hitter who's known for putting it in the air and hitting it deep and relying on his power. He just beat that one out.
So Jeffries got a perfect 4 of 4 today.
Set the field.
He and Nick Mulhern are the two players that have yet
go.
to be
Bases,
retired as
please.
an out in today's game.
Top of the 4th.
Jeffries yesterday, 4 for 6.
Yeah, Cody's on his way to an all-tournament team, it looks like.
Lifts this one, left side. Runner heading that direction. Ball bounces over one player and safe.
There's another one. Well, that's a nice hit, too. If you didn't know that this was his first tournament with the Indy Thunder, you'd think he had been there forever. He has just settled in so well. And, you know, talking to Jared before the season, Jared was really bragging on him, and because they start in the indoor batting cages in January, February, and Cody still lives in Georgia, but he comes all the way up here frequently just to practice with these guys, and Jared loves having him, and you can see why.
Here we go. Bases, please.
And we're back in the run rule territory. That really won't apply until after the bottom of the inning. The lead back up to 12.
Well, that didn't take long either, did it?
So Dunleavy swings, ground ball right side. Up the middle, past Corian White, past Mulhern, and safe.
I'm telling you, now these ground balls are getting through, and this is a situation the Edge have not been in this situation, at least with this unit before, and I dare say the White brothers have probably never faced a deficit that I can recall, at least maybe since Corey was a real young guy. They're used to it being the other way around, and it just does not look like they've got the giddy up, even on defense here. These now are ground balls that are getting through.
So Dunleavy, now 3 of 5. And again, you do hear the fire engine in the background. It's the only drawback to this location. Washington Township Firehouse is just next to the high school, so you'll have that occasionally.
Bases, please.
We had that happen once in yesterday's televised game as well.
And you get that sometimes, but I got to say, the noise level has been excellent here.
Rodenbeck ground ball past Rodriguez, kick save, and
we kicked it away.
Aaron C. No call. I think they'll have to go check that on replay. Just the ball hopped away from Eric Rodriguez. We'll have a replay.
Watch and see if he had it off the ground or if the ball was maybe under control but still on the ground. Check this out. This is going to be interesting here.
Rodenbeck scored last time up. He's 1 for 2. We'll show you the replay.
Now, do you have it off the ground and have control?
Ball just underneath Rodriguez. Aaron C's got it. Hand up.
Play that back one more time.
Right as Rodenbeck hits the bag.
All it has to do is be off the grass tops and under control. There can't be a bobble there, and you can't have it trapped on the ground, but it does not have to be, you know, feet off the ground. Oof.
Very much a bang-bang play.
Well, tie goes to the fielder, so we had one of these earlier.
Correct. I think you're looking at the almost exact same scenario.
I don't know.
I think he does, actually. One more.
Try it one more time.
His shoulder back at us, and he's coming.
Contact made with the pylon right there.
I think he has it.
Ball in the hand of Aaron C.
When in doubt, call him out. Yep. When in doubt, call him out.
Great play. Great job by our camera crew to showcase that to you.
But you know what?
Yeah,
the reason that play was close is because it got under Eric Rodriguez. And if Eric Rodriguez gets down a split second earlier, he probably makes that play, and we're not even having this conversation.
Here we go. Bases, please.
Here's Zach Bueller. Bueller 4 for 5 today. This is already the 6th trip to the Thunder lineup. Elevated, center of the field.
Crush.
Bueller towards the third base bag, spinning away from the fielder, and he's safe.
That's a run all day. I'll tell you what, I bet the Thunder wish that they had Zach next weekend in Bolingbrook outside of Chicago for that big 8-team event up there, but Bueller is going to be in Berlin playing goal ball. Boy, he's making it count this weekend. he's another one. He's got to have a very, very high batting average for the weekend.
Again, those in the blind and visually impaired community know about Go Ball. For our general audience that is watching this, give me the Cliff Notes version of what Go Ball is.
I'm not as well versed in Go Ball as I am beat baseball, but essentially what you've got is it's played on a hardwood floor, and you've got 3 on a side, and basically you are trying to fire a ball past those 3 defenders into a goal, and vice versa, and so it requires less volunteers. You only have to use 1 ball, less players, and you can play it year-round.
Swing by Dykes, line drive up the middle. Fielder knocks it down. Can he get there in time? No. Bounced off of Nick Mulhern, just couldn't corral it.
It was a good play by Mulhern, just bad luck. That ball was scorched, and it caromed. But as I was saying, you know, most importantly, Go Ball is a Paralympic sport, and so you'll see a lot of blind and visually impaired athletes playing Go Ball in hopes of getting on with Team USA. You can play it year-round. It's an indoor sport. Well, boy, for us beat baseball aficionados, it gets a little frustrating when they're playing that during the summer. You know, it's like you got all winter and fall to do that. But it is a Paralympic sport. We are not.
These balls are something else.
We have international competition, although we don't have any international teams registered this year. Frankly, we haven't really since the pandemic hit, but at one time we had, well, Taiwan had a powerhouse team. They won 5 world championships back in their golden era, and we had a team from the Dominican Republic and a team from Canada.
Well, let's go back now. Looks like Gerald Dykes is going to go back to the plate, so that's going to be considered to be a dead ball.
All right, let's give you bases again.
So we'll take a run off the board temporarily.
Maybe that's why Mulhern couldn't track it down after it caromed off him, is because it wasn't beeping anymore.
21-7.
Strike.
And that's a dead ball, but not a new count yet. I'm going to give you the opposite opinion of Jerry Wendell, and we've had many, many debates about this. I think you ought to get a new count.
Contact made. Elevated right side. Hustling to the bag, and he's safe. Now he put the run back on the board.
He scored anyway.
Corian White, the fielder closest to it, just couldn't track it down in time. So now it's back to a 15-run lead.
15-run lead for the Indy Thunder. And this is not a slight to the Thunder at all, but I frankly can't believe what I'm seeing here, because this Indy Edge team is elite from top to bottom.
Up on the bench.
Just hasn't been their day so far. That, and Jarrett's not missing many bats. Like I said, I think I've counted 2 strikeouts. You can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I've counted 2 strikeouts all day for Jarrett.
I've got it at 1.
Oh, 1, okay. And that was early.
Correct. First inning, end of the first. Lewis, ground ball left side. He'll run right side. Fielders lining up. Rodriguez got to it. And the batter's out.
So Rodriguez makes that play, and he should.
Spotter helping him get lined up for the Indy Edge. So Lewis retired as an out for the 3rd time in 6 plate appearances. Here's the side-by-side comparison. No doubt about that play.
Second base comment. All right, we set in the field.
So next due up is Cody Jeffries.
Bases, please.
He's already scored once this inning. Get a perfect 5 for
2
5.
outs. Strike.
You're the constant whir of the beeping baseball. Swing and a miss.
And I don't want to jinx it, but the balls have held up pretty well this game, considering how hard these players are hitting some of these balls.
Take there. Ball lifted right side. Foul. No, fair ball. My apologies. And he's safe. Fair ball. Got hit within the 170-foot line, or hit within the fair territory, then kind of turned in the opposite direction.
It's a good beat ball hit, and Cody Jeffries is on fire. That's 6 for 6 now.
Correct. So Chris Dunleavy is up.
Incredible. I don't think I played 22 years, and I don't think I scored 6 runs in a game my entire career. 5, maybe. I was known more for defense, though. Developed later in my career as a hitter. I was a lefty.
Here we go. Set in the field. Here we go. Bases, please.
So Dunleavy, 3 of 5 today.
2 out.
And again, they're getting production from all parts of their lineup. Everybody's scored. Everybody's contributed.
Dunleavy sends this down the right side, but it's a foul ball. So it's a 16-run lead for the Thunder.
And Jared's still chucking it like it's a, tie ball game here. He's not letting up at all. Jared's an all-around athlete. I've watched him play in high school. He played prep ball in Southern Illinois. He was lettered in football and baseball, and in fact was an excellent pitcher for his high school baseball team. And he's been around beat baseball his entire life. His father played many years.
9th batter to the plate this inning for the Thunder.
Foul
Foul ball.
Up.
So 2 strikes. Again, the Edge have to,
Count
at this
0-2.
point, score 4.
0-2, 2 out.
Just to get out of the run rule territory in the bottom half of the inning.
Ball!
There's the take.
Jared's steady. His cadence never changes. You could set a clock by his cadence.
Lifted left side. Runner running towards the third base side. And safe.
Out.
Or they give us an out.
They called it out.
Yep.
That's interesting.
He ran.
That'll be the end of the inning.
Yeah, I'll check it.
Well,
Go back and look at it a second time. Yep.
He ran by it the first time.
The issue was, as you can tell, Chris Dunleavy did not touch the bag the first time by.
We're going to check it, guys.
Hence the reason why. I kind of
He ran
saw
by it the first time.
Corey White kind of let up, but I almost assumed he was safe, but he wasn't because, again, he missed the
Here we
bag.
go. Let's check that again.
And you never want to do that. You don't want to let up. You can hear a team cheering because they think somebody hit the base and they didn't, or a lot of things can happen. You never want, until the umpire makes a call, you don't want to give up on a ball.
That ball just stopped moving, just shy of the 170 line.
That was the cord.
But again, if
He's out.
Chris Dunleavy hits the bag on the way by, he's safe. He did not, and that is the end of the inning.
And the cord doesn't
check it from
count, by the
second
way.
base.
It has to be the pylon.
So it's 23-7. Thunder with the lead, and again, the Edge in danger of having this go into the run rule territory.
Who got the foot out of that? Corey White.
Today's game presented by our friends at Big and Small Paws. Big and Small Paws 317 offers dog training and boarding, free dog training consultations, and in-house private training with payment plans available. Plus, there's ADA training, group training sessions, and dog boarding packages too. Call 317-603-2292 for more information. Greg Rakestraw, Dave Benning with you here on the ISC Sports Network.
Yeah.
Again, to avoid getting this game into run rule territory, Edge have to score 5 in the bottom half of the fourth, or they will then kind of, again, go into that run rule scenario where they will have to score as many runs as they can with whatever outs are left in the game.
But believe it or not,
so it is possible
from high school, college,
the Thunder have come up to bat for the last time in this game.
It's the only thing that I kept.
Possible.
And
not likely given the Edge's offense.
And the Edge have scored 7 runs to this point, so it's not like they're not scoring runs. That's not maybe their level of production, but it's been more just the Indy Thunder have just been playing a relentless brand of beat baseball. They've got 23 runs in their first 4 innings of batting. So that means they've had 35 hitters to the plate, and 23 of them have scored, and Jared has only struck out, what did we say, 1?
Correct.
1 batter in 35 at-bats. And that's off the charts. But that's the strength of the Indy Thunder team. Now, the strength of the Edge team is their speed. But Kyle Kennedy's had 5 or 6 strikeouts, it seems like.
Here we go, set in the field.
All right, so Justin Holland, number 5 batter, will lead things off.
Bases, please.
5, 6, and 1 coming up this time through. Holland 1 for 2 today.
Strike.
Like I said earlier, Holland can turn one around and make one count for 2 at any time.
Contact made. Sent it left side. Elevated. Fair territory. Rodenbeck can't get there in time.
It's a nice try by Adam. That had some decent air time on it. And good start for the Edge as they're chasing a bunch. They're chasing 15 now.
Again, that's one of those situations where batter and ball and base and fielder were all within about 15 feet of each other. So here's Aaron C.
We set in the field.
See what Aaron can do. This would be a major
go.
lift
Base,
for the
please.
Edge if their 5 and 6 hitters can both get to base here safely and turn it back to the top with nobody out in the inning.
Aaron, a strikeout victim his last time up. Swings through that one and misses.
He's got a powerhouse swing. Consistency can be an issue sometimes, though. If he connects, it goes a long way.
Does connect on that one. Sends it left side. That ball lands just shy of the 179. Bueller couldn't get there in time. Was in the neighborhood, but couldn't snag it. Run for Aaron C.
That was a well-struck ball by Aaron, and a good start now here for the Edge. 2 in a row to start this inning, and again, they've still got 9 outs to play with. Eric Rodriguez has got to get going, though.
Another fresh supply of beat balls being brought in here in case they're needed. And both these teams tearing the cover off of it, literally.
They are. These are 2 of the 3 hardest hitting teams in the league. I think you can put the San Antonio Jets certainly in that class with them. The Bayou City Heat, when they have everybody and they were hitting, there was a chance we could have seen them in this game. They would have given the Edge a better game, but they had 2 or 3 of their starters that couldn't make it to this tournament. You expect the Edge and the Thunder to be at full strength because here's the tournament in Indianapolis, but for some of the teams that have to travel a distance, especially the ones that are going to other tournaments this month, can't always get everybody here.
How many tournaments do most teams play before a World Series, Dave?
Depends on the team. The Midwest is, we are fortunate to have several teams that host tournaments in close proximity. So the Edge, Thunder, and Chicago Comets, for example, are playing in this tournament. Then they'll play in the Chicago Bolingbrook event next weekend. And then the Gateway Archers are hosting a tournament at the end of June. Then the World Series. Other teams, like the Philly Fire, for example, they won't play again until the East Coast tournaments start up. And so it just depends. Some teams don't play any regional events and just come to the World Series.
Rodriguez, first pitch swinging fouls. Rodriguez 2 for 3 today, did strike out once.
There's not an equal disbursement of teams throughout the United States. When you get west of the Rocky Mountains, you've basically got 1 team out there, and that's the San Gabriel Valley team, but they really don't have any close competition, and so they only play at the World Series.
Ball.
Line shot, but foul.
He turned on that one, didn't he?
And turned on the Jets immediately.
But Eric can spray the ball. He can go opposite field, or he can pull right down the line. He can go up the middle, so you don't really want to try to adjust or shift too much for him. Some hitters you can. Aaron C's an example. His power is going to be mostly left center. Same with Corey White. And really the same with Justin Howland. But Eric he's got power to the opposite field as well.
Line drive foul. So 3 strikes, all of the foul ball varieties so far. Just a matter of Rodriguez straightening it out. Does have a pitch he can take if he chooses to. This game approaching an hour and 40 minutes in length.
You know,
and that can happen when you've got one or the other teams or both that are going deep into counts, or when you got a lot of runs being scored.
Full count.
So Rodriguez the take.
I mean, there's been good pace to this game. It's just there's been a lot of runs scored, so it's going to be a little bit longer of an affair.
Line drive, left side, bounding ball, past Bueller, Rodriguez hustling, safe.
Yeah, it's a good placed ball. They hit it down that baseline there. And it seemed like that's what they were trying to do, and they finally got one where they wanted it.
So Rodriguez now 3 of 4. And once that ball got past Bueller, that was that.
But they're still going to need a couple more now to avoid the run rule. Nobody out.
Here's Nick Mulhern.
Has Mulhern been retired at all today?
He is not.
Here we go. Here we go. Bases, please.
Don't look
Bases,
now, but
please.
he's batting 1,000 for the season.
No outs.
He's a run scored in every inning.
Stop.
Swings and misses at that one.
And of course, you know, Mulhern hit 720 at the World Series last year, and so he's just picking up right where he left off.
Mulhern takes.
And to put those batting averages in perspective, because they sound lofty, and they are, but you know, in this sport where it's coach pitch, and essentially where the pitcher's playing for the offensive team, so 500 is good. 600 is great. You get above that, you're really in the elite class.
1-2.
So 2 strikes. Pass has been used. Contact made, right side. Popped up. This will be a base hit. Ikram Ikramola was the player closest to it for the Indy Thunder. He is the lone designated defensive player for this Thunder squad.
Went opposite field with it. And don't look now, but 4 straight to start the inning with nobody out, as the Edge are looking to get back into this game.
So we get 1 more run and we avoid the run rule conversation.
No outs.
Corey on White.
The Thunder defense would feel a lot better right now if they just get 1 out, get that first out of the inning. Remember, the Thunder started the game with, what, 5 in a row of their own before there was an out recorded. And they ended up with a 9-run inning, as I recall,
Here we go. Bases, please.
to get this thing going.
All right, I got you.
So Corian White, who has yet to get a run yet today, which is a rare statement.
Well, and he didn't do it in that semifinal game yesterday either. He has been he's been scuffling a little bit with contact, and they've got all summer to get this worked out. But Corian is definitely, like I say, he hit 727 at the World Series last year, so he's a big part of this offense. And you know, he's still a young guy. He's what, only 19, 20 years old. And so when you're struggling like that and you're not used to it, I mean, all he's had is success ever since he started in this sport. You can press a little bit.
Not sure what our delay is here.
And it can sound sometimes when the fielders are out in the field and you have a delay like this and you hear them being very vocal, it can sound like they're goofing off.
Bases,
but there's a method to that madness. Every time they yell something or chirp something or they say something, they're letting the other players on the field know, here's where I am.
White swings, ground ball, fair ball, Roden back over.
He got it, I think. Yep, he got it.
I think they're calling foul ball.
Oh, they did call foul ball.
Yep.
All right. Adam Rodenbeck got over there in a hurry.
Corian White being led back to home plate.
We set up.
This is this part of the game where the field starts drying out a little bit. You don't have to worry about the ball being as wet
0-1
as it might have been at, say, 8:15 this morning.
Corian ready. He's going to take this one. Swing and a miss. Pulled off of that one. Ball right side. Past Ikramola. Being lined up and safe. That was Lewis that was trying to track it down, couldn't get there.
Speed kills. That's all I can say, and time has been called. I'm not sure for what.
So no doubt he was safe.
Time.
So the run rule is off for this inning. So the Thunder will come back to bat in the top of the fifth.
Still nobody out.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
You knew that the Edge were going to make a push, and this looks like the push. We'll see how big of a push it is, but these are the world champions defending. They're playing their arch rival. They've got, you know, oodles of championship game experience, and so they're going to fight off the ropes here. Let's just see if they can come back before they're told the game's over. There's 9. They've got 9 outs to work with here. But the Thunder still have 2 at-bats left of their own. And they've shown no signs of slowing down. Now, you're right, you saw the same thing yesterday with the Philly Fire, and then they did slow down. And was it the last 8 batters of the game were retired by the Thunder?
Here we go, guys. Faces, please.
We'll see what happens here.
Here's Corey White. Corey 1 for 3 today.
Which one?
Now all 6 Edge players have scored.
Okay.
So that means all 6 players on both sides have scored at least 1 run in this game.
Swing and a miss. Looking ahead for the Thunder in the top of the 5th. Rodenbeck, Bueller, and Dykes, the trio of players due up. Foul ball.
So
2 strikes.
Hey, right here, right here.
The contact is improving now for Kyle Kennedy. You can tell he's warming up. There's a lot less
0-2.
clean swings and misses.
There's the take. 2-strike count with the pass.
Foul ball.
Foul ball. Already this is the most productive inning of the game for the Edge. 2 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third. It's been the first time that the Edge have sent batters a second time to the plate in the inning.
Count.
This is a big pitch for Kyle Kennedy right here.
Foul ball.
Yep. It was.
Good 3-strike hitting. Now, sometimes what you'll see some pitchers do, Jared especially, I remember from hitting off of him, is if you got to 3 strikes, he'd pitch you a little bit more inside to maximize the potential of at least making contact and hitting it somewhere. And so if you didn't want to get jammed by Jared, well, don't get to 3 strikes on him. Hit one of the first 3 pitches.
Swing and a miss.
And unfortunately there, caught a few foul balls and then a clean swing and miss, and that's out number 1. And you can't maximize Corey's power and speed there on that at bat, and Thunder defense is probably breathing a little sigh of relief.
It's the second time that Corey White has been a strikeout victim today. Here's Justin Holland. Holland began the inning with a run, his second of the game.
So now you're back to the 5 and the 6 spots in the batting order. Not that Justin Holland is your prototypical 5th hitter in any batting order, but if one of these 2 can score here, you're guaranteed to get back up to Eric Rodriguez in this inning.
Swing and a miss.
That's right up the middle.
Correct. Past fielders. Lewis's sliding effort couldn't get there in time.
Nice effort by Kyle, but that's it. Now you notice the Thunder do not have a defender playing right up the middle behind the pitcher. And what they are trained to do is to cross over to cover that middle with multiple defenders at multiple levels. But even when they had their dynasty, the way to beat the Thunder defense was to hit one hard and directly up the middle and force them to get moving, because they don't have anybody playing in what I would call a straight up 6, which means the 6 zone, which is their middle zone. And she called a 6, called it quickly.
Here we go, bases please.
And he split them.
1 out.
It's Aaron C. Already a run scored this inning. Swings and misses. Did strike out back in the 3rd. He's 2 for 3 for the day. This marks the 4th trip through the Indy Edge lineup. Contact made left side. Diving effort. Fielder knocks it down. Can he get there in time? No.
Oh.
But Cody Jeffries is saying the ball stopped making noise, so let's hold for a second. We'll have to come out and inspect the ball.
I thought, and we can't hear it the best from our position here, but through the headset, I thought that ball did go dead off the bat. Now, that doesn't mean it didn't start beeping again when it hit the ground.
Yeah, I don't hear anything.
But that ball.
Dead ball.
Yep.
Now, you notice the change. This has been a new rule that has come into play in beep baseball where, and it really is, it seems like a no-brainer, where you leave the base on when you check for a dead ball because that's the conditions the defense is playing
Dead
under.
ball.
And so when that base is on and they'll leave the ball in the grass and they'll stand over it, and if the umpire can't hear it, he'll call a dead ball.
Yeah.
And that's what happened there. And because I can't get the majority on my side to change the rule back, he will come back and have the same count that he had before. And Mr. Wendell and I will spend the remainder of the summer debating that, because I think that is back on the table this year, along with this 3 strikes proposal, which keeps getting submitted every year, and you can't get through the voting process.
This tournament was played in the 3 strikes rule last year.
Well, we were trying to get it passed. I think it was played that way in 2021.
See, he sends this one left side, but it lands in foul territory right by the third base bag.
Yeah, the idea of doing that at a couple of the regional tournaments, Bolingbrook did it once too, was to try to get some stats, try to get some metrics on it to see how much of a difference 3 strikes made versus 4.
Here the wind's kind of picking up. Wind coming out from the east, which is directly behind the fielders and in the face of the hitters as we speak.
It's a breeze, but it's not enough of a breeze to affect. Sometimes if you get too much wind, it can get in the ears of base runners and defenders and so forth and really have an impact on the game, because the game, of course, is played by sound. This is enough breeze to feel good and keep the players nice and cool, but I don't think it's enough to affect the base running. We've had a couple of missed bases in this game, but not enough that I think that it's really affecting things. We've played on some really, really windy fields before, though.
They'll take the pass here. So now Aaron is ready. Foul ball. 3 strike count.
Full count.
So see the 8th batter to the plate this inning. 6 have scored, 1 out so far. It was Corey White on a strikeout. Heads trying to claw their way back in it.
This has been their most sustained rally of the game so far. It looked like they were mounting a rally in the 3rd inning, and then Adam Rodenbeck ended that with a couple of putouts.
Ground ball up the middle. Diving effort to get there, and 2 fielders collide. Dunleavy.
Was that an out call?
I believe so.
Boy, I'll tell you what, though, you got to be careful and communicate when you converge like that, and they're trained to do that in balls in the middle. But that's where, again, zone discipline and communication is so key, because you want to avoid collisions.
That was Dunleavy that was able to make the play, as he and Jeffries were in the same area.
And this is their first tournament playing together too, so that will improve with time.
So Rodriguez will come back up. Rodriguez already a run this inning. He has struck out once. He is 3 for 4 today.
And again, it's on his shoulders again now with 2 outs here, because even with the rally that the Edge have mounted here in this inning, you're still talking about a significant lead for the Thunder. We're coming down here to the late innings of this game.
Swing and a miss. And run rule is off, but Thunder could put it right back on in the top of the inning. Take by Rodriguez. Foul tip, 2 strikes. And Rodenbeck, Bueller, Dykes, the trio due up for the Thunder in the top of the 5th inning.
That won't be easy for the Edge.
Swing and a miss.
Full count.
So he has to swing this time through. Ground ball, but it won't reach the 40-foot line.
Well, they're just a hair off right now, Kyle and Eric. When they are in sync, Eric hits first and second pitches, and he hits them generally hard somewhere. Like you saw last time he went down the third base line.
Ground ball, again, it'll turn foul, and it would have dead before it got to the 40-foot line anyway.
Here we go, still.
Rodriguez already fouled off a couple of 3-strike pitches. Here's another. Another foul ball. Maybe the lengthiest at bat we've seen of the day so far.
Just getting a piece. Looks a little bit like that Corey White at bat here just a few at bats ago, and that ended with a swing and a miss. Let's see what Kyle can do here. They need a run out of Eric. Nick Mulheron's been hot, 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 so.
Line drive, left side.
Bueller. Nope.
Was it?
Dead off the bat is what they're saying.
Yep.
And if you could see, you probably noticed that the players weren't reacting the way that you would expect them to if there was a beep in that ball.
Yep.
And
you heard Kevin Johnson, that's a fair ball. You know, it was in fair territory. It's now where it's resting is in foul territory. Again, Rodriguez absolutely hammered it.
Good.
yeah, and I think they say it's dead.
Yep.
No, that would have been a perfect hit because there's nobody that's going to be able to. Even Zach Bueller's not tracking that thing all the way into foul territory.
Take it. Yeah, it did when we were checking it. Yeah.
Well, they're saying it's ticking. What's the call here?
Yeah,
We'll see. Is it are they going to bring Eric Rodriguez back to the plate, or is Nick Mulheron coming up? This is either a run or a dead ball.
So Rodriguez will, I believe, come back to the plate. Nope. Giving him a base, giving him a run.
It doesn't have to be making much noise. All it has to do is be audible. That's a tough break, although it would have been probably a tougher break if it had been a dead ball because that wasn't really a playable ball anyhow.
So Mulheron out. Perfect 4 for 4 today. 23-14. This is the closest the Edge have been in a while. Ball sent right side, but foul. And this is one of 4 games taking place today across the facility.
The Fire and Heat playing for third. That should be an interesting affair there. 2 fairly evenly matched teams. Philly probably with a little more speed. Bayou City with a little more power. Philly's got a young guy, Casey Krause, who was a rookie last year, and he came down. He was invited down to our All-Star event in San Antonio last December, and he really showed out there. And I heard he had a great day yesterday. He's one to watch. Philly's got a few of those.
Mulheron with the take.
Mulheron to keep his perfect Batting average intact here.
He and Cody Jeffrey still have that going. Swing and a miss. Mulhern has not been cheated on his swings today. So this is the 10th batter to the plate this inning for the Edge.
Now, this has been their best inning of the game by far.
This one sent right side, foul ball. Yeah, the Edge have doubled their run total here in the bottom of the fourth. Had 7 in innings 1 through 3. 7 and counting here in inning number 4.
And when you keep a defense out there for as long as the Thunder defense has been out there this inning, that can, especially at the end of a 4-game tournament over a weekend, that can sap some energy a little bit. I'm going to be very interested to see how the Thunder respond in the top of the 5th when we get to the top of the 5th.
And Dave, I thought that was part of the Fire story yesterday because they don't have as many subs. End of the third, game in the heat.
Right.
Thought that played a factor in the Thunder's come from behind win yesterday.
Well, that's true, and they don't have many subs, and they were short a starter yesterday with John Margis not here.
Swing and a miss,
Oh,
so
my.
Mulhern is retired for the first time today. A strikeout and the inning is over, but the Edge have given themselves a chance. They'll have their work cut out for them. They trail by 9, heading to the top of the 5th. We're back in a moment. You're watching the Beat Ball Bonanza on the ISC Sports Network.
Brewer jams it home. That ball wiggles in and into the back of the net. A little fireworks in the first half.
Throw it up for Tillman.
Whoa, my goodness.
122-6-0 for Penn.
What a swim! 6 of them.
Today's game on the ISC Sports Network, presented by our friends at Bright Ideas Consulting. Your logo on everything under the sun. Now located at 9855 Cross Point Boulevard, Suite 116 in Indianapolis. Greg Rakestraw, Dave Benning, thanks to our wonderful ISC Sports Network crew. Thanks to Daryl Tibbs, Austin Lass, Vince Morelez, Rob Lynch, Chase Eichnagel, the rest of our ISC Sports Network crew. It is an early wake-up call this Sunday morning, 8 a.m. first pitch. This game has now been going on for more than 2 hours. However, given the sport in which we are covering and given the just wonderful weather conditions, frankly, yesterday it just felt like June does in Indianapolis. But today a refreshing breeze, barely a cloud in the sky, a glorious Sunday morning.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world right now. Now, this is going to be a pivotal inning here, I think. We just saw the Edge have their best offensive inning.
Rodenbeck liner up the middle, and safe.
And they're just not letting up at all. That was the first pitch. I didn't even get to finish my sentence because Jared got right up there and threw the first pitch, and Rodenbeck scored, and he's out of the 6th spot in the batting order. That's the bottom of the lineup. Here we go again. It's 24-14.
So Rodenbeck, that's his 4th at bat. He came after the first inning for Kevin Smith. He's 2 for 4. So now Zach Buehler will bat for a 7th time today.
24 runs now in 4 innings plus 1 batter, and it's not like these are especially fast fields. If anything, this is thick grass. It's not the tallest grass, but it's thick grass. Certainly it's not what we play on in some tournaments in, say, Texas and places like that where you see games in the 20s and 30s. This is just a potent Thunder offense that's clicking on all cylinders right now.
Buehler, foul ball.
And Jared's throwing a pitch about every 10 seconds if he can, just to keep the defense on their toes. He knows they've been out there a lot, too.
Fikes uses his take. Buehler swings, liner up the middle. Bueller hustling down the third base line. Fielder couldn't get to it in time, and that's easily safe for Bueller.
You never want to assume anything, so if you're the Thunder, just keep the line moving. Don't stop now. The Edge still have 6 outs to play with, and they just came up and scored 7 runs in the bottom of that last inning. So, right now it's simple. It's math. If you keep scoring, eventually they're going to run out of outs.
Bueller now has scored his last 5 times at the plate. He is 6 for 7 today.
He's incredible, and he's got an above 600 career batting average, and you're seeing why.
Dicus just hits it about 3 feet in front of him. Foul ball. Dicus not playing in the field. Dicus is the DH for the group.
No, and I'll tell you what, the first 5 seasons of his career, he was just the DH. That's all he did. He didn't record his first putout of his career until last year. They did play him on defense last year. A lot of it was because they had to, rebuilding.
Foul ball again.
But he is generally their DH, and then for all those years, of course, Miguel Tello was his flex. That was their DF.
And we saw Miguel playing for the Fire yesterday.
And he was their DF yesterday. So that's just their roles, and they enjoy it.
Here's the take for Dicus.
And, you know, as productive as Dicus was out of the DH spot, and as productive as Miguel Tello can be out of the DF spot when they were together, it's like having Eric Rodriguez.
Ground ball up the middle. Rodriguez lines it up, and he's out.
Speaking of Eric, go and pick that one up. That was a good, clean play. That was an Eric Rodriguez play there. I was wondering a little bit because he just didn't look quite as sharp with the early innings of this game. That was sharp Eric there.
He just had it lined up. Did a great job of putting his chest in front of the ball and collecting it. So 2 in, 1 down. There's Kyle Lewis.
Set in the field. Here we go. Bases, please.
Lewis 3 for 6 today.
1 out.
And his power is to right field. He'll hit up the middle sometimes, but if he hits to left, it's a miss hit. He's a pull hitter. I would almost pull Corey over a little bit.
Strike.
First pitch strike.
I would have Corey move about 5
Foul straight back.
5 steps left here toward the first base line.
There's the take by Lewis.
It's interesting. They're taking if there's 2 strikes on them, they seem to be taking the 3rd one consistently.
Contact made, liner up the middle. Bounding ball and taken care of. Mulhern with the out recorded, 2 down.
Mulheron's been doing well eating those up the middle, and Kyle deceived me a little bit there. I thought he was going to go down the right field line. He went up the middle there. And defense is improving, but again, we're in the top of the 5th inning here. It's getting late, and Cody Jeffries has just been on fire all weekend.
Fewest runs scored in an inning today for the Thunder has been 3. They put 2 on the board in this inning.
Bases, please.
They have batted around in every inning today. Fifth batter to the plate this inning is Jeffries. First pitch swinging, ground ball, third base side, nestles perfectly in fair territory, and he's safe. Nothing that Rodriguez could do about that.
And that's so frustrating. I know from playing that position, that is frustrating when one of those, you know where it's going and it's just out of reach.
Jeffries a perfect 7 of 7 today. Rodriguez got there as quickly as he could. He slid by it. And when he did, that allowed Jeffries time to slide to the base down the first base side.
And that's incredible. You don't see 7 for 7 in any game very often, let alone a championship game of a major tournament.
Here we go. We set in the field.
So again, that puts us in run rule territory.
Here we go. Bases, please.
And frankly, it would be unlikely the Edge would not score in the bottom of the 5th, but technically we are in that spot. Here's Dunleavy.
Strike.
Dunleavy is now 3 for 6. Ground ball, left side, lined up. Rodriguez got it, and that's it. So Rodriguez with 2 putouts in the inning. 3 score for the Thunder. Again, the Edge have to get 1 just to stay out of the run rule territory. But they trail by 12 with 6 outs left to go in the game here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Today's game brought to us by the Blind Institute of Technology, where teaching one person with a disability changes the lives of millions. Check out how they are changing the world at blindit.org.
Material from the National Beat Baseball Association is available on multiple platforms. We mentioned the NBBA website, www.nbba.org. Also we're available on Twitter for those who still use Twitter at NBBA76. Available on Facebook, and in fact this game has already been shared there, and so you can find the link to it there. We are also on YouTube. Look up the National Beat Baseball Association on YouTube, and you'll see many highlight videos and full games and other multimedia from the adaptive game version of our favorite pastime, beat baseball. The National Beat Baseball Association is the sanctioning body, and they put on the World Series of Beat Baseball every year since 1976.
Bases, please.
So Corian White reached his last time up after being retired as an out his first 3 plate appearances.
The Edge have been narrowing the gap here in these last couple of innings.
Strike.
Swings and misses at pitch number 1 from Kyle Kennedy.
If they can put another 7 runs on the board like they did last inning, it could make for an interesting 6th inning. They certainly have the ability to do it, but they have to put balls in play. The one difference this game, I think, between the 2 teams has been contact.
Foul ball. An absolute rocket hit by Corian, but foul. 2 strikes.
Count 0-2.
Here's the take. Corian and Corey White both 1 for 4 today.
It was nice to see Corian finally get that first hit.
Swing and a miss there by Corian.
But if you can hold the White brothers to a combined 2 for 8, you're doing a tremendous job. I mentioned 7 for 7 being rare. I remember a game where both of the White brothers went 7 for 7 in a game against San Antonio.
Did make contact, just got a piece of that.
Well, he knows where it is now. Let's see if he can put it between the lines somewhere.
Batter's out.
Could not that time. Swings and misses. His 2nd strikeout of the game.
And with every strikeout, now the Edge are edging 1 step closer to defeat. And it would be their first loss since 2021. They've got 5 outs to play with, but you're not even giving your base runners a chance when they're not putting the ball in play. Jared has been doing the opposite. Just about everything he's pitched has been put in play.
Set in the field.
Here's Corey White. He has struck out twice.
Bases, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Little combo between pitcher and catcher. Going to realign home plate. And with that, Corey White now will make sure he is in the proper alignment.
And they've had Braden catching today. They had John Boggs catching the 3rd game yesterday, the one that we called for the league.
Strike.
Swing and a miss. First strike. Corey White scored back in the 2nd. Part of a 3-run 2nd inning for the Indy Edge. Swing and a miss.
Well, and his one run was a blast. That was that high, deep shot. But he just hasn't had great contact since.
There's the take. Contact made this time. Left side, lined up, knocked down by Bueller. Got it.
What a play by Zach Bueller. That's just, you talk about comrade putting up on comrade. Those two were, were cornerstones of the Thunder for all those years. And that's prolific defender against prolific hitter. That's great beat baseball right there, Greg. My goodness.
So Bueller makes the play. And again, if Holland doesn't score here, we now go into the run rule scenario where basically we'll almost fast forward at this point based to the bottom of the sixth. And the Edge would have 3 outs to score 12 runs. And if Holland scores, then scrap that. We'll play the distance. And again, it'll be a scenario of having to have basically 4 outs to score 11 times.
Yeah, they need this here. Not that the 12 run is impossible to overcome, but with just 3 outs, and it's such a psychological advantage. I say this game's 90% mental. You don't want to be in the run rule.
So Holland has scored his last 3 times up.
Yeah, he's heating up. And it took him a while to get going last year, but once he did, he really caught fire.
Leading run scorer today has been Mulhern and Rodriguez, each with 4. Holland with 3.
Count 0-2, 2 outs.
And Aaron C. due up next. Foul tip. He does have his pass left. Yeah.
But he's down to 1 swing here.
Another foul tip.
You mentioned that championship game last year at this event. Cody Jeffries was on the other side of that with Atlanta. He played against the Edge.
Swing and a miss.
At the top of the 6th.
Who would have thunk it? I certainly wouldn't have thought it going into this game, but here we are. I think they're about to correct this and let Kevin Johnson know that we are in the 12-run rule. So what you'll see here is the Thunder defense stay out, and we will go directly to the bottom of the 6th inning.
Rule in effect, guys.
Yep, there he has heard it called right there. So again, the Thunder defense will stay out, and basically now the Edge will have 3 outs to score 12 runs, and if they don't, game's over. Thunder wins, and they win the Beat Ball Bonanza.
This is going to be jaw-dropping to some of the fans that follow beat baseball, that see this around the country, that maybe don't see the Indy teams play as much except for at this event. If you see them play all the time, you realize both teams are prolific, but the Indy Edge came into this as the prohibitive favorite.
Today's game presented in part by Kane and Abel Orientation Mobility Services. Take a person's arm and they will lead you around the block. Give a person a cane and it will lead you around the world. Give them a call at 317-213-7031.
Bases, please.
So Aaron is 2 for 4 today. And the Edge won this in run rule fashion last year. Swing and a miss by Aaron. He struck out once back in the 3rd. Two strikes. Starting to see some of the players and coaches, some of the other fields wrapping things up. And for For numerous teams, there's a flight to catch to
That
get
is
out of
true.
Indianapolis this weekend.
And several of these teams will be coming right back up to Chicago next weekend.
And the Bolingbrook tournament next weekend. The first weekend in July is the Gateway Archers event in St. Louis, where the World Series will be played the next couple of years.
Literally, they're going to host that at the venue that's going to host the World Series in 2024 and 2025, right by the airport there in St. Charles, Missouri. And it's not very often we get to play at a facility before it becomes the host venue for a World Series. So I'm very interested to see what that venue looks like. And you guys talked about it a little bit yesterday, but if it's long past due that we have a home for the World Series.
Ground ball, foul ball, did not clear the 40-foot line.
And so we need some permanency for our World Series for a lot of reasons, which Jerry so eloquently discussed yesterday. But I really think that if St. Louis can do this right over the next 2 years, they could become our Omaha or Oklahoma City if you're a softball
Correct.
fan, which I am.
So again, full count. Again, if the Edge were able to score 12, then the Thunder would get then 3 outs to go back to bat. But a swing and a miss. So 1 down.
Another strikeout. There's just been too many of those in this game. And look, the Edge will have a short turnaround. They've got to turn around and play in the Bolingbrook tournament next weekend. And their second game on Saturday, as it happens, will be against the San Antonio Jets, who were runners-up last year in the World Series title game. And the Jets want a piece of the Edge, and so the Edge are going to have to straighten this out real quick. We're going to see Austin and San Antonio and some of the other elite teams in that tournament.
5 consecutive outs, 4 by strikeout here for the Edge. Rodriguez swings and misses. He struck out back in the second. He has scored his last 3 times up since then. Ground ball, fair ball. Rodenbeck, can he get there in time?
He can.
Yes.
Adam Rodenbeck putting out Eric Rodriguez, and they're down to 1 out here. And while we have a moment, if you don't mind, I want to recognize the leadership of the National Beat Baseball Association, our sanctioning body for beat baseball, the executive committee, President Jerry Wendell, who you know, First Vice President and Tournament Director Cassie Hopkins from Tyler, Texas. Second Vice President Richie Flores. Richie's over there playing. He was playing for the Bayou City Heat this weekend. He's also a player. Secretary Stephen Guerra from Rochester, Minnesota. And Treasurer John Lykowski from Glenview, Illinois. Our head umpire is Jason Price, who is here. And our immediate past president, Blake Boudreau. These guys do a wonderful job.
Nick Mulhern represents potential final out. Yesterday, the Thunder retired the last 8 batters they faced of the Fire. They potentially could retire the last 7 in this game. Mulhern swings and misses. And he was retired as an out for the first time at the end of the 4th.
Who had this score on your bingo card for today?
26-14. Contact made, elevated, left side, bounces, safe. Cody Jeffries couldn't get there in time. So Mulhern will score at least 5 times today. He would have to come back up not once but twice for the Edge to have a chance in this one.
Mulhern was determined not to let it be him. Don't let it end with you, is what they're saying on that bench probably right now as the White brothers come up. And the long road back starts with just that single step, but there is no margin for error now. 1 more out ends this game. The Thunder won this event in 2016, 17, 18, 19, 21, and then the Edge won it last year. Prior to 2016, the Thunder hadn't won this event since 2006. There was quite a stretch of years where the Chicago Comets were pretty dominant in this event.
Corian White Ground ball up the middle. Diving effort. Jeffries couldn't get there. Dunleavy couldn't get there and safe.
We split them up the middle there. All right, you can't fault that too much with the speed of Corian White, and you have guys getting over there and the ball's just beyond their reach. So that's 2 runs now on the day for Corian. Now I'll go to Corey, and we'll see how many the Edge can get back here. At least get this lead down to single digits.
So Corey White.
This would be, if the Thunder can hang on here, even despite everything that they accomplished over the last 6 or 7 years, this would be, I'm sure, one of the most satisfying wins in Darnell Booker's coaching history.
2 outs.
Corey 1 for 5 today.
3 of his former starters are on this Edge team.
Line drive up the middle. Bouncing ball. Past a couple of fielders. Bueller got there, but not in time. So Corey White is safe.
Yeah, I'll check it.
And they're going to check the ball to see if it's still beeping.
I'm going to check it.
I think the concern is, did Corey nick the bag on the way by?
Okay.
So that's the conversation. So we'll show that replay that we just showed all of you watching at home. Kevin Johnson will take a look at that replay as well.
A lot of times you can tell if he came back to try to hit it. If he knew he missed it, sometimes they'll double back, and that's a good indication that the runner knows they didn't touch the bag. If he just kept going or acted like he scored, it's a good indication that he knows he hit it. And when you're he got it. And you know, when you're fast, well, the curse of being as fast as Corey White and Corian White and Gerald Dykes is, if you do happen to miss the base, it's a lot harder to, put the brakes on and come back and get it, as it is if you're sort of chug-a-lugging your way down. Either way, they said he touched it.
So 3 down, 9 to go for the Edge, but this is with 2 outs.
Bases, please.
So again, they would have to score 9 consecutive runs from this point to keep the game going. Here's Holland, who struck out last time. So 1 strike. Foul ball.
The Thunder need to be careful. You can communicate on the field until the pitcher starts his cadence.
Correct.
And then you're not allowed to. And we had an issue in the third game, the one we called with Bayou City and the Edge, where there was an infraction that finally got called by Jason Price. The Bayou City player was still communicating after Kyle Kennedy had started his cadence. And that can result in a run.
Contact made, left side, bounding ball. Bueller lines it up, got him, and that's the game.
Wow, and leave it to Zach Bueller, who's a comeback kid this year, to make the final out and put this one in the books. And this is one of the signature wins in Indy Thunder team history right here. They've knocked off the defending champs. They've gotten their revenge. And it looks like the Indy Thunder now are one of your front runners as we head into the heart of tournament season. They're back, ladies and gentlemen. It's no longer a rebuild. When you beat the defending champions by 9 runs, they're back.
So 26-17 is our final score. Thunder beat the Edge. We'll take this quick timeout. We'll come back with post-game thoughts. I'm sure we'll grab an interview or two as well. Stay with us. We'll wrap up our weekend full of coverage here on the ISC Sports Network.
Shot at the buzzer. Got it! She got it! Oh my goodness, what a shot!
Hello.
Did it again.
Hello.
Made the highlight reel again. That goes to Mentor and all kinds of room to run. Down the middle of the field, and he will not be touched. Jackson, hello!
There we go.
Stokes throws it, caught, ball ricochets.
Wow.
A huge hit.
Wow. This has been an amazing display of goal scoring.
Well, we are back as handshakes and hugs are being shared by two teams that know each other very well. The two Indianapolis teams both went 3-0 in pool play, but it's the Thunder that beat the Edge by a final score of 26-17. Greg Rakestraw, Dave Benny. Again, we'll have a guest join us back here, I'm sure, in a matter of moments. But until that point, Dave, kind of your thoughts as to the way things played out and the importance of this result going forward.
An impressive total team effort for the Indy Thunder. They did what they needed to do on defense, and they did more than what was expected, I think, on offense in that game, scoring 26 runs. This is going to be a springboard to the Thunder, who have a mix of veteran players and some young talent coming up. This is just going to accelerate now that development as we move on into the season. And if you're in the Indy Edge, you just got to shake this one off, because you're coming back next weekend in another major tournament that I think they will still be considered the favorites. On paper, the Indy Edge still have the best starting six. But you're seeing where depth can come into play, and the Thunder have that. And if we give Cody Jeffries the player MVP for this tournament, then you've got to give an honorable mention to Jared Woodard, who I think struck out 2 at most in this game. He faced 40 batters?
Correct.
39 batters and struck out only 1 or 2.
I want to thank two of our sponsors as we wrap up our coverage, and Zach Bueller heading back our way for a quick conversation, a matter of moments. First, thanks to our friends at the Blind Institute of Technology, where teaching one person with a disability changes the lives of millions. Check out how they are changing the world at blindit.org. And thanks to our friends at Simplified Insurance Solutions, health insurance experts offering Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage plans, prescription drug plans, dental, vision, and hearing coverage. Located in Lawrence, call Latrice Jeter today at 888-340-7633. Well, we are thrilled to be joined by Zach Bueller, who recorded the final putout today and went 6 of 7 at the plate. Zach, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Just what does this mean to you? Dave kind of documented some of the injuries you're dealing with and even missing a season because of training for the Paralympics. So to get this win today, what's it mean to you and your teammates?
Oh, man, it's just such a good win. You know, playing our rivals, especially in the championship, like it just so huge. And, you know, I realized yesterday I haven't been on the beat ball field in over a year and a half with my knee injury, with the Paralympics, with all that. So it was just so good to be back out here with the team and just, you know, competing at such a high level and just pulling out this win. Like, just being back on top feels so good, and such a team win. Like, everyone's been working so hard this season, just getting ready for the series, getting ready for this tournament, and it really showed today, I think, in the championship.
And Zach, when do you hop a flight to go to Berlin to take part in Go Ball coming up?
Yeah, here in 2 days. I hop on a flight on Tuesday, so head to there to just do a little friendly international competition, then just preparing for the qualifier in August. So yeah, it's been a busy summer, but it's been fun.
Dave, I know obviously you're familiar with Zach's work, but just what impressed you about his game, either offensively or defensively today?
You know, it's always incredible when a player like Zach, we don't see him for 3 seasons, and then we come back, and with you and Jared, it just looks like it's getting back on the bike. I mean, is it really that easy to hit out? What's it like hitting off of Jared?
Oh, man, like, Jared's definitely one of my best friends. Like, he was in I put him in my wedding. Like, we hang out, we talk all the time. So it's just that connection. Like, we know what each other's thinking. Like, we just kind of have that bond that we know. And we've gotten a lot of work in over the season. Like, at the beginning of the season, Jared would come up to where I was living in Fort Wayne, and we get in the cage quite a bit and just hit for just pretty much 2 hours, just both of us. So just a lot of connectivity. And yeah, it's honestly just, you know, my biggest thing was my defense coming out here is what I was worried about. And my offense, I knew I'd be all right because me and Jared are just so tight. So.
Well, whether it's Go Ball or Beat Baseball, when I think the name Zach Bueller, I think championships.
Absolutely.
So congratulations.
Thank you
You're
so
one of the
much.
most exciting players in the league to watch.
I appreciate it.
Zach, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Zach Bueller kind enough to join us here. Now we'll get a quick word with Darnell Booker. We'll let Zach go enjoy this with his teammates. And as the headphones get lined up for Darnell, congratulations. I know you this tournament as a success, whether your team wins it or not, but to get that big win over the Edge, how you feeling right now?
Pretty good, Greg. Pretty good. It was a good win for us. We needed to see where we were, where we stood since the defending champs. We were playing the defending champs. We wanted to see where our team stood. It looks like we're right there, and we'll have a lot to say about the World Series when it comes to it. But we just wanted to see where our team was, and we know there's a long season ahead. But we just wanted to see where our team was, and we're in a good place right now.
All right, just overall, what was the key? What got the job done for you today?
I think our key was coming out strong on when we were the away team, just coming out with the bats, and we didn't know how we were. And then we know how our defense is pretty sound, and it's pretty good when you got 24 in deep left and everything like that. And we're glad that we have a lot of our key members that was out last year with injuries. We're glad that they're back right now, but it's always good to have 24 in your back pocket in left field.
Coach, I know you don't like comparisons, but I'm going to ask you a comparison question anyway. How does this win measure up with some of the great wins in team history? It's got to be up there for you.
Well, it's big because, last year, with our injuries out, we just didn't know. We feel like we thought we had enough, but we did not. But it's up there, no doubt about it. But like I said, we have a long way to go. But like I said, it's good to have our key players back from injury, and long way to go. But I'm just, like I said, I feel good about my team and going into the rest of the season.
I'll never use the word rebuild again. The rebuild is over as far as I'm concerned, Greg.
Absolutely.
Well, what's the upcoming schedule for the Thunder now, Darnell?
Upcoming schedule, we got we're in Bolingbrook next week, then a couple weeks off. Then we're in St. Louis for the Gateway Tournament, and then we're at the World Series in Norman, Oklahoma. So we got a lot of work to do still, but this is a good starting point for the opening of the season.
Darnell, thank you so much for having us back for this tournament yet again, and congratulations on the big win.
All right, thanks for having us. Thank you.
You got it. Darnell Booker joining us, and again, thanks to Zach Bueller for being with us as well. And Dave will wrap up coverage. Your final thoughts on this game and the weekend.
Great game, great weekend. The weather cooperated. God loves beat baseball in Indianapolis. We always seem to have good weather here. Let's hope it carries over next weekend and throughout the rest of the summer. And it just keeps getting better and better. And nobody does beat baseball telecasts like the ISC Sports Network. And I am a proud subscriber. So great job, man. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be working with you, Greg.
Dave, as always, a pleasure is all mine. Look forward to doing this again next year, and hopefully we'll start doing this on even a more regular basis at some of the other events around the circuit.
Let's do it.
Congratulations to the Indy Thunder. They knock off the defending World Series champions, their crosstown rivals in the Edge. Final score in this one, 26-17. The Thunder never trailed in this one. For Dave Betting and our entire ISC Sports Network crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. Thanks for joining us from North Central High School all weekend long, right here on the ISC Sports Network.
When a visit to the eye doctor ends in a diagnosis of blindness or visual impairment, Bosma Enterprises is there, providing low and high-tech tools that let adult Hoosiers keep living at home, and training that teaches people with vision loss how to cook meals, travel around their homes and towns, and continue their employment. Because the need for independence never fades, even when the sense of sight does. Bosma Enterprises.